Okay, expanding your portfolio. It's a tough one to call at the moment because obviously it comes to risk analysis of the future. What's going to happen in the marketplace? Gentleman said earlier on, he buys a property that's valued at 150, he buys it for 100, he wants to pull some money out of it after 6 months. Well, loan to value at the moment 70%. So you look, sorry, 75%. So can you pull a huge amount of money out of your property and your equity straight away? No, you can't. So growing your portfolio by utilising your or buying stuff that you've bought recently is going to be difficult. That then comes down to what actual funds you can get access to. If you've got an existing portfolio, great. Then obviously pull some of the equity out of that. But the best thing to do is obviously, and it's one of the things that we do, is look for properties that are below market value enough percentage-wise to mean that you don't have to put a great deal of a deposit in. Or if you do, it's minimal. So if we find something that's 30% below market value and we can structure the finance 75% loan to value against the agreed asking price, not the purchase price, then there are ways of doing it with very little money indeed. Growing your portfolio is a lot harder nowadays than it used to be. As I said, you could buy them, remortgage, you know, bridge in finance, the whole lot. You could pull money from anywhere and everywhere. It was like being a magician back in the days. That realistically isn't there anymore. So the best way to start, if you're looking, anyone here who hasn't actually got any kind of portfolio at all, purely looking to get into the market? Okay. Basically, everyone else has a portfolio of some description. Yeah? Anyone only got one within their portfolio? Okay, okay. As I said beforehand, you could have remortgaged that 100% quite easily, pulled a huge amount of money out of it. At the moment, 75% loan to value means that you are limited on the amount of finance you can get hold of. So the thing to do, if you're looking to buy a property, make sure that it's at least 30% below market value. They are out there. I'll give you some tips on looking for below market value properties as well if you want. Who wants some tips on buying? Yeah, strange that. That's going to cost you guys, you know that, don't you? Yeah, something else to look at as well. You're renting a property out. Suddenly you can't get tenants for it. What do you do?
Drop the rent a bit.
Good start, yeah.
Advertise something else.
A couple of things you can do. Obviously, drop the rental. Speak, as I said, to some of the council authorities, the ones that will take properties off you and manage them and rent them out for you. Chances are you will get slightly less rental, but it's worth taking it instead of taking a void period. And if necessary, not perfect in this marketplace, but sell. And the number of investors and portfolio owners that I know of, that when you suggest selling to them, it's like, oh my God, what am I going to do that for? But the reality is, and people always say to me, well, why does AJ ever sell some of his portfolio? If you sell a property and you make some money on it, what are you going to do with it? Exactly. You know, you've got a property you've paid X amount for and it's earning you £500 a month. You pull that out, you flog it, make some money on it and buy something else for the same amount but it makes you £600 a month. Is that a bad investment? It's supposed to be gone like that. No, exactly. So never be afraid if your property is underperforming to look at ways of selling it. Even if you have to take a slight hit on it. As I said, it's a business. Not every business achieves what it wants to every single day of the week. So if you need to take a hit, sometimes you need to take a hit. But never keep hold of a property if it's not paying you, hoping that the market's going to change. If you start to struggle with it and you need to get rid of it, get rid of it. As I said, not great in this marketplace at the moment, but it's one of those things sometimes you have to consider. And I'd never, ever knock an investor for selling some of their portfolio. So, I mean, you guys got a good idea, you know, long-term strategy, 25 years, great. But I'm guaranteeing you within the next 10 years, you may have to offload one or two of them, purely because it makes good financial sense to do it. Reacting to market changes quickly. Who in the last 6 months has put their rental figures up? Why? How come no one else has? I've covered off earlier on. Is it a good or a bad time to be renting property?
Good.
So why aren't you putting your prices up? What do the shops do?
Put the price up.
Exactly. If the demand is there, they don't say, I'll drop the prices then out of an act of goodwill. You know, petrol, slowly starting to come down in price again. But because of the way the market was, prices went up for petrol. Did you ever say to the petrol station, I'm not paying that. I don't think that's a fair amount. Anyone ever bartered in a petrol station? No, I haven't actually, no. Not in this country anyway. So, but if you've got properties, okay, now is the time to be looking at your rental. Who uses 6-month ASTs? Anyone do longer than 6 months? Yeah, 12 months, yeah? Any longer than that? Okay, good. 6 months, you know, AST's up, get them to sign a new one, spend a little money on the property and put the rental up. You know, the rental market at the moment demands that if the person in there after 6 months suddenly says, actually, no, I don't want to pay any more rent, well, off they go then, because there's a damn sight more people out there who are quite happy to rent off you. Don't just assume that, you know, you can't put it up. Market factors dictate at the moment that rental incomes can go up. Guarantee you AJ's doing it. He ain't generous. Believe me. Look at the mortgage. See how your mortgage is performing. Can you get a better deal on it? Things like that. You know, not great at the moment, the way the market's going, the interest rates are going up. But keep an eye on the mortgage rates. Who here has a good broker that they use? Who here has an abysmal broker? So everyone else is quite happy with their brokers and they're okay-ish. Shop the market. Whoever watches the Martin Lewis program about, you know, things to do with your money and saving money and things like that. Excellent forum, get on there. Simple questions. Who has found themselves a really good broker? And see what kind of response you get. Does that cost you anything to do? No. Could it save you a fortune potentially? Could it earn you a fortune potentially as well? So use resources out there. Everyone's got, as I said, internet connection. Have a look on there. Martin Lewis' website is fantastic. Have a look. Anyone been on there before? Sorry?
I use more than one broker.
Yeah, you have to. You have to. I always say to people, you know, it's like saying, I'm going to buy a car, so I only ever go to one car dealership. Are you doing yourself a favour? No, you're not. You know, because they'll just get used to you then. You know, oh, he always deals with us, so he'll always pay the fee, and he'll always pay this, and he'll always pay that, because he's done it in the past. You suddenly say, I'm actually going to see your competitor down the road. You see how much their attitude changes. You know, whoever barters on their mobile phone tariffs. Thank you. You know, things like that. Exactly the same. Are you getting the best deal purely because, as James said, you've banked with the same people for the last 20 years? Are you hell as like? You know, has it been the same bank manager for the last 20 years? You know, what country is your bank manager in now? So, you know, I don't know. You know, Lloyd's TSB. Yeah. So yeah, so things like that. You know, use the resources that are there. Go onto the Martin Lewis website and just go on the forum and ask the question. If you're new to property investment, say, I'm a new investor, can somebody give me some advice on a good broker to go to? And you'll get some people who'll just, you know, mail you a pile of rubbish, or you might find that one little gem that will save you a fortune. So use things like that. And as I said, it's all about reacting to what's happening at the moment. Who keeps an eye on the news and actually pays any attention to it, or just thinks, oh God, it's the news again? You know, whoever looks at the areas that they live in or have properties in, and will check with the county council on a regular basis to see what new businesses are moving into the area or what grants are being offered. Gentlemen, they're from Liverpool. One thing you notice in Liverpool, as soon as they were announced they were City of Culture, suddenly you find all the streetlights work, all the bus shelters have glass in them, you know, less cars being nicked, crime rates drop.
I don't know about that.
Well, you know, it's still Liverpool, end of the day, isn't it? But things like that, you know, you go down a central reservation of a dual carriageway, and they've got hanging baskets and things like that. Does that have a negative or positive?
Car thieves.
Yeah, exactly. They're all growing weed, but things like that can make a positive impact.